everyone. So I'm Manas. For those of you who don't know, I'm 20. I'm currently doing my Bachelor's of Business Administration from St. Joseph's College of Commerce. I've done my education from Sri Kumaran's Children's Home. I'm just as chill as you guys. I support RCB and Chelsea, which seems to be my main cause of stress and worries. I like to draw. I'm heavy into sports. I remember back in 2018, towards the end, we had made the school cricket team finals. All of us were excited and jubilant. We had worked really hard and we were just one step away from glory. And that's exactly what happened. 2019 could not have gotten off to a better start. We won the school cricket tournament with a thumping victory. And after that, towards the evening, we were really celebrating and having a good time. What happened next was absolute mayhem. See, my grandfather had been keeping ill. He'd had kidney issues and he had a long, hard battle. And in May 2019, we unfortunately lost him. Much as we were kind of sad, we were also of the opinion that he wouldn't have to suffer anymore. But after that, what followed was extremely tragic. My grandmother, who had known my grandfather her entire life, had somehow lost the will to live. Seeing him not there anymore shattered her. And just 23 days after we lost our grandfather, we unfortunately lost her too. This double blow was extremely hard for us to take, but the only thing we could do was move forward. 2019 is when I entered 10th grade, and 10th grade is a time of transition. You have to focus on your studies because you'll be giving your boards for the very first time. And that's something you have to pay maximum attention on. It's also something where you have to focus on your future. You have to choose between science, commerce, arts, or any other stream would you like to pursue. It's also a time where you have to focus on extracurriculars as well, because that's the best time of your life and you won't get this opportunity ever again. All I could do after this tragic summer was move forward. I decided to focus on my academics as the foremost, and followed up was cricket. I played cricket for my school team, but unfortunately, after getting good starts, I wasn't able to convert. But nevertheless, it was a good time because I got to play with my friends. This is where the story starts. Not one of luck, but one of like grit and all the stars aligning together. Towards October, after I celebrated my 16th birthday and we all had a good time, I started having these back pains in my shoulder. And I thought, ouch, that hurt. These pains were initially sporadic in nature. They'd come and go, but they'd come knocking back again about 20 minutes later, each time more worse than the last. We'd consulted a local sports physiotherapist, but that was of no use. We'd consulted a local orthopedic named Dr. Chandramouli. He'd given us some painkillers. Those painkillers seemed to do a trick for a little while, but after that, the pains would return more dreaded than the last. In 2019, I remember playing football in my school ground and I just fell. When I got up, I just realized that my lower body sensation was not there anymore. Weird, but very, very concerning. We'd done more scans, but the scans were all like blurry. An MRI was suggested. When the MRI results were in, it showed that there was a tumor in my spine that was compressing the spinal cord, and that's why there was no sensation in my lower body. What in the world, right? This is the stuff that even nightmares aren't made of. We consulted the doctor again, Dr. Chandramouli. He told us to go to a doctor named Dr. Sanjay, who was a neurosurgeon. He told us that the surgery would be done in 3-4 days. We went for a second opinion thanks to a close friend of ours who told us to go to Dr. Timmappa Hegade at Narayana Hridayalaya, one of the best neurosurgeons in the country. We immediately rushed to the place and surgery was prepped for the next day. All this would have seemed like about 36 hours, but it seemed like a way lot more. My parents were absolutely shattered. Hadn't 2019 been enough, losing my grandparents was a big blow as it is, and this was just another huge blow which none of us could take. One that came after 2019 was finally looking good, and finally it was coming as one smooth road after a really bumpy one. Surgery was done, and I remember being in extreme post-op pains, screaming my lungs out because all this pain was foreign to me. But I did not know how to react. I remember the tumor had gone for a biopsy and the results were in, and my parents were murmuring something that I couldn't figure out. We got in touch with a friend of ours, someone from my dad's college. He had gone through the exact same thing about 5 years prior to mine, and it was nice hearing from someone else who went through the exact same thing. It kind of settled me down a little bit. I remember being on the phone with a friend who was asking if everything was all right. And I was like, just like, yeah, it's nothing. It's not going to be cancer or anything like that. And my mom just burst into tears. My dad came. He said, son, the tumor results were in and it appears to be malignant. Cancerous? Yeah. Okay. That was my response. I knew that if I had reacted in a negative way, that would already derogate a situation which was already very deteriorated. Instead, I chose to look at the positives. From then on, I had to fight two battles together. One was obviously against cancer, but the other was grueling physiotherapy. Because I was wheelchair bound, because the spine was compressing, the tumor was compressing my spine, I had to learn how to stand, walk, run again, and that was a real challenge. I decided on one thing: I wouldn't worry about cancer at all. I was in the best of care, the best of doctors at Narayana Hridayalaya. They had seen about 1,000 cases prior to mine, and the only thing I could do was follow their instructions to the T. I knew if I do that, I would be safe and I would recover from this much faster. The real challenge was the physiotherapy. As much grueling and intense those sessions were, I decided on one thing: I had to play cricket again, no matter what. That was my goal, and that's what I set out to do. I consider myself lucky because the doctors said I play cricket and I'd have a much faster recovery rate. They predicted that I'd walk in about 6 months, but in 1 month I was able to stand. In 1.5 months I was able to walk with a walker. With 2 months I was walking with the support of someone, and in less than 3 months I was up and walking rather. Cancer played its own part too. Of course, stuff like chemo helps in results in nausea, vomiting, hair loss, mood swings, all that sort of stuff. But cricket has helped me there again because sport helps in a much faster recovery rate, and that could help me bounce back on my own 2 feet, literally and metaphorically. I have this one saying which I've always lived by. It's tomorrow is better than today. If I've had a really bad day, you know tomorrow is going to be better. And you have had a great day, then tomorrow can be even better. The feeling of seeing the sun rise again with new hopes and new aspirations is something that I really love, and that's what keeps me going. The COVID had set in, everyone was at home. But again, in such a negative situation, I started looking at the positives. It meant that my entire family was at home. My parents, my grandparents, and my cousin brother, who's more like a brother to me now. All of this made us into one army, and it made us fight a battle together. And mentally, that was really, really reassuring. I've always been the half glass full kind of person. In a situation that is completely bleak, where the room is completely dark, when your back is against the wall, when you're rock bottom, you have two options with you. You either choose to be positive or you're forced to be positive. I choose to be positive because that way I wouldn't have to worry about everything else. And I am the kind of person who faces everything with a smile on his face. So if this was any other adversity, so be it. I'd be there with a smile on my face, getting things done. Chemos, as usual, they were on their own part too, but I knew that they'd set in on their own. The lockdown was one time where everyone was doing something unique. I remember my mom being extremely frantic, scurrying around for answers, calling hundreds of people, asking them how to go about this treatment. And that got me thinking, I'd want to do something unique too. I wrote a book in this time. It's called It's Not That Hard. I basically documented my experiences on how to go about this treatment. I realized that if I do this, then people who read this book, people who go through what I went through, will be able to empathize with the scenario. That could not reduce their challenges, but it will help them prepare for the better. And hopefully, those roadblocks, they'll reduce. In a way, the story which had such a tragic beginning had such a lovely end. My chemos got over on August 15th of 2020, and I too celebrated Independence Day. And at the same time, I was up and running. I had oral treatment for about 2 years, and that got over last September. My book got published last year on October 7th, and that's one of the best gifts I could ever ask for on my birthday. All of the proceedings of the book go towards a charity which helps underprivileged people fight this disease for the same cause. I feel that's my way of giving back to them. I feel cancer has completely changed me. Cancer and partial paralysis have been the best two teachers I've had. They've left an indelible mark on me. They've told me that in a room that's completely dark, you should find light at the end of the tunnel. When you're rock bottom, when your back is against the wall, what do? You like to fight back. You have to fight back and do it with a smile on your face. They've made me an author, one I thought I'd never become. They've given me new friends. And most of all, they've told me how much my parents, my family, and my existing friends would do anything in this world if it means that I'd be okay. They've left an indelible mark on me, truly. I'd like to conclude by saying that everyone goes through obstacles in life, because without obstacles, life isn't life. It doesn't matter if it's personal, health related, or even financial. What matters is how you choose to fight it. Could be with a smile on your face, could be through anger, could be through ways which only you would know. But the feeling of overcoming an adversity is something which is really immaculate. Something that makes you think, if I can go through that and come out, I can go through anything in life. And that is truly really blissful and one of the best feelings in life. Thank you so much.